Silver stackers all know why we're buying silver, but if you listen to some of the naysayers out there, well, you'd swear that it was the worst thing in the world to spend your money on. Are they right? Well, we're going to talk about that and a lot more, so make sure you stay tuned. YouTube, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. And as always, I'd like to thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to check out the new video, and of course, for all of the amazing support. This channel absolutely could not grow without all of you. Which leads me into my next line, and you know it by now. Best damn community on YouTube. No question. Now today we're going to talk about how silver is perceived by all the negative Nancys out there and see if their points are valid. You're definitely going to want to catch this one, so let's go ahead and roll it.
Is it a good idea to invest in gold or silver?
No. Here's a couple of problems with gold and silver. One is anytime you're analyzing an investment, if you're buying a piece of real estate or you're buying a stock, which I don't buy single stocks, but you could look at a single stock, or you're looking at a mutual fund or whatever, any kind of an investment you're putting money into. You can look at, and you should look at its track record, what it's done in the past, to get an idea of what it's worth today. Okay? And to get an idea of what it's going to do, in the future.
Good old Dave Ramsey. I did a video last year on this guy, and he's still refusing to get on board the silver and gold wagon, which is fine. But in the clip you just saw, he goes on about how metals are a poor investment, quote-unquote investment, and they give you low to no returns. Now, he believes that there are other ways to invest your money for better returns. Now, on that point, he is not wrong, folks. There are far better investments than precious metals, especially if you're looking for better returns like stocks, real estate, high interest bearing accounts, yada, yada, yada. But my argument against Ramsey in this case is that smart stackers already know. They already know their metals are a slow burn as far as money making goes. We're not stupid. We're not stacking to make a killing. And if you're in it for that reason, and you're watching this video today, well, I'd tell you that you picked the wrong commodity to put your money into, and maybe get out while you still can, because most of us are stacking to preserve wealth and savings. I think too many precious metal detractors are confused between the two terms of insurance versus investment, and profit goes right along with that. And I also think it's safe to say that not many of us in this community are putting all our apples in one basket when it comes to our investments. Now, Ramsey says you need to look at the track record of past performance and get an idea of what it could do in the future. Well, what was the price of silver 20 years ago in comparison to today? Well, I'm getting ready to tell you. In 2003, silver closed out at $5.97 an ounce at the end of the year. And at today's current spot price, which is $22.77, and be mindful that we're currently in a dip, well, that's an increase of $16.80 an ounce. Now, is that a killer ROI? No, not when you factor in inflations and premiums there, but did silver price continue to increase as the dollar lost value? Of course it did.
And that's what drives the price of it, is when people chase it. So consequently, commodities are always more volatile. They always go up and down more, up and down more, up and down more. And that's more than you ask for, but a lot of people are asking me this question, so I used your question as an excuse to go up on a soapbox, okay? But bottom line is, I don't own any silver or gold, except I've got one really nice gold watch. But I don't own any as an investment at all in any stretch, because it's got a poor rate of return, and there's nothing that drives the price except people's fear or greed, which is when they're running after it or running away from it, one of the two, and that's what drives the price on it.
Now, in this clip, Ramsey's saying that nothing drives the price of gold and silver except for fear and greed. And there is a touch of validity to that, because in times of financial and geopolitical turmoil, people do tend to run to silver and gold. They find it as a safe haven for their money, and then when stocks and whatever is down, stocks recover, they leave the market. They come out of it. But there's also another factor that typically kicks in to drive these prices, and that's the thought process of when the Fed hikes up interest rates and precious metals are affected. Example, prices since mid-April 2023 have gone down, and that's allegedly driven largely by higher interest rates and the perception of a strong U.S. dollar. But that can be tough to substantiate because precious metals are traded on a global basis, not just here, obviously, which means the Fed isn't the only entity having an effect on silver and gold prices. So in the entirety of Ramsey's video, he does make one solid point. As an example, let's go back to the price of gold per ounce in 1970. It ended the year at $37.38 an ounce. Imagine that, $37.38 an ounce for gold. Fast forward, let's say 50 years later to 2020, and gold was selling for $1,891 an ounce. Now, if you would have invested $10,000 in gold in 1970 minus premiums, you'd have about roughly 267.5 ounces. Take away premiums, whatever. We'll just go with 267.5. 50 years later in 2020, that 267.5 ounces would now be worth $505,842, or a cool $500,000. Not bad for a $10,000 investment, right? I mean, it sounds good even after you factor inflation and the loss of spending power on the dollar. But Diamond Dave says you could have invested that same money in land and some strategic place and became a millionaire. Now, he's not wrong on this. He's just not. But he's missing one key element that I alluded to earlier. We're not stacking metals to become millionaires. Now, that being said, I did a poll a couple of days ago as to how stackers viewed their precious metals. And let's go over those results really quickly. First off, I want to thank everyone who participated in the poll. You guys helped put yet another video together, and I appreciate all the awesome input and feedback. Let's take a look at this thing. Before I touch on the numbers, I just want to point out to Dave Ramsey, not that he'll see this, but hey Dave, not one respondent left a comment that they view their silver as a way to make a profit. So to you, I say this. We know what the hell we're doing. We get it. We know that silver and gold are not, they're not going to make us millionaires, and they're not going to turn us into Scrooge McDuck. We get that. We understand that there are more ways and different ways to make more money in investments, but we're also not putting all our ducks in one pond. This is just one duck, Dave. It's just one duck. We get this. Everyone pretty much chose and commented on having reasonable goals for their silver, and that says a lot about stackers in this community as a whole. Well, let's go over the results real quick. 8% chose silver as a hedge against inflation. 16 said it's a savings account for when I retire. That was the second most popular. 11% said it's a backup if SHTF. Another 11% said as a legacy inheritance to my family. And then there were others that just said all the above. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you go through the comments of this video, of this poll rather, you'll see that nobody said, I'm in this to make money, baby. I'm in it to make some money, some cheddar. I'm in it for the money. Not one. We get it, Dave. So we're going to start closing out this video, but before I do, I'd like to go over a few arguments against silver and add some counterpoints. These are two of the most common arguments. Number one, you can't purchase something from the store with silver and gold. Yeah, okay, I'd agree with that one. But, there's a but. Right now, you don't have to, and we're not in a position to rely on that option just yet. Although, you can look this up. This is real. Several states are starting to, or they've already approved the acceptance of silver and gold for goods and services. It's real. And you've also got these gold backs. They're becoming pretty popular, and more states are getting on board with them. I mean, this could be a viable solution. I don't agree with them. I don't agree with the premiums, but this could be the answer to a bad trash cash in the future. The concept is fantastic. I really do. I love it. There's something intrinsic on this, right? But yeah, I don't really endorse these, but again, I appreciate the concept of them, and I think they're gorgeous. They're absolutely beautiful. Argument number two. If precious metals are real money and fiat cash is trash, then why are bullion dealers exchanging their metals for your trash cash?
Hey fellas, look what I found in my pocket. Look, a year's salary right here. What I call them? Fun coupons. See that? A fun coupon. Grandfather and me.
Well, this would be an awesome question if it wasn't rooted in a lack of plausibility. Well, why do I say that? Because right now the world runs on fiat cash, period. Metals aren't the primary means of survival in this day and age. Not yet. It's cash, paper trash, moolah, Benjamins, cheddar, whatever the hell you want to call it. Cash is what's accepted in the world today, and it's how we pay our bills and make a living. Metals are for insurance and for savings. This might be one of the dumbest arguments against silver and gold that I've heard overall. Seriously. All right, there you have it. So the key point of this video is to believe in the reasons you've chosen to stack. You started for a reason, right? So drown out all the noise. And remember, we are in the extreme minority when it comes to the percentage of folks who stack metals. So we're going to hit some resistance. We're going to see it. We're going to hear it. But we all saw the viability of stacking. We all saw it. And we're going to continue to cover ourselves even as the world turns their nose up to precious metals. And that's okay. That's fine. I'm good with it. Because in the end, I'm pretty certain that my stack is going to do exactly what I intended it to. And that's be worth enough for some mountain land and a log cabin. I don't expect to make millions off my silver and gold. That's just not feasible. Yeah, I mean, could it shoot up in the future astronomically? Yeah, there's always a possibility. But it's impossible to predict how much and when. We could all be gone. Everybody listening to this video could be long gone before metals ever explode. So, but I'm continuing. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep putting it away for savings and for future enjoyment. And I couldn't give a rat's hind parts about what the world thinks of it. Anyway, be sure to sound off and let me know your thoughts by leaving a comment down below. I have a blast going through them all, and I do try to respond to each one. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. And if you made it this far, well, kudos to you. I'll definitely catch up with you in the next episode. But in the meantime, hell, you know what's up.
What do you want to do with your life?
Damn right, get stacked. Stay safe and be well, everyone. I am out of here. Peace, folks.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.